Hi everybody and welcome to this general playthrough with the new hole locations on the Milano for the big game 9-hole cup pro and expert division, that is of course from Second Tee here on the BK Golf Clash YouTube channel. Please hit thumbs up on the video if you don't mind, it would help me out a lot, and make sure you're subscribed as well. We're going to have a look at all 9 holes here. We've got a couple of drops as references, but I'm going to talk you through the layouts of the new hole locations and some alternative routes as we go as well. Don't forget, if you're playing expert, there will be qualifying and final round tournament win guide videos up on the channel on Thursday and Saturday. Here we go. On this par 4, no drastic changes here. If you get tailwind and want to spend a power 5 ball, you can of course try and blast to green. The hole-in-one won't be on though, unfortunately, the pin tucked away behind the trees. If you want to lay up, you can do so as I do on the left hand side here for the short iron approach. Around 2 top spin and 2 right spin here, may vary depending on the wind direction of course. Headwind, you'd want to go with a bit more top spin, and also maybe 3 bars of right spin if you've got a katana or a kingmaker, would reduce the need for curl and get you close to the pin. Max plus 10 is the adjustment though in all wind directions, bouncing over very safely, and this is going to set up an approach with our short iron. Now I'm playing the backspin shot here. The pin now from this line of sight is more left than it used to be, so the rough bump is going to be a lot trickier than previously because of the line of the shot. So I'm going with a couple of bars of backspin, a bit of left spin to align with the wind after the first and second bounce here. And for the short iron, I'd estimate really to play true club distance here. 0 elevation, but in crosswind you may want to go to 5 or 10. Decent chance for an eagle. Just make sure though that you get a nice landing position. There is a little bit of bumpiness on the green and also on the fairway in the run up here, so make sure you scrub around well with your target, find a nice aim point. Decent chance for an eagle, just missing it here in this example. Now, if you know this hole well, you'll be thinking, why on earth am I playing with the Guardian and not doing the rough bump? Well, let me tell you, the rough bump with this new pin location is extremely tough. I would say it's like a 1 in 100 drop rate. It is so glitchy, I really would not bother with it at all. So I'm going to go with the Guardian for the first time for everything really, and here it is on this hole. Max backspin, 1 right spin, and even this is tough. I had a good go at this hole. And it is very difficult indeed, even just moving that pin a little bit to the right. It is just glitch central with the rough bump. Max plus 30 though, I'm not going to say the Guardian's going to drop every single time, but believe me, it's a world different to the rough bump. You've got a load more chance compared to the glitchiness of that rough bump in the usual place here with this new hole location. Luckily got this one in as a reference drop. Very difficult par 3 on this one. This par 5 will play pretty much the usual way with the second pin location. Going to go around 4 top spin, 3 bars side spin to the right. A kingmaker will help with lower level snipers on the second shot here so that you're not short. If you've got the sniper 9 or less, I would probably put a power 3 ball on here. Max plus 10 here if you've got tailwind and a good amount of it. Of course you can blast it with a berserker, try and bounce yourself over, leave yourself a nice shorter approach, most likely with the thorn for your albatross. But even from distance, as long as you haven't got the trees or the lampposts in your way after you drive, you're going to have a fairly decent chance here. I think this hole is playing about the same in terms of difficulty level. So max plus 10 general elevation here, playing with a bit of right curl to get ourselves a good line to the green. So here we're going between 3 and 4 backspin, depending what the wind is doing really. In the end, I go with just over 3 backspin, and here 3 bars side spin to the right. This wind angle is one of the trickier ones because you're going to adjust into the rough and you don't want to overdo it. But as a rule here, I'd be playing this one true club distance, 10% elevation. So TC on the notepad. So I'm 6 yards away from max here, so I play this one 85% slider for reference. But of course, your elevations, your setups, your spins, going to vary depending what the wind angle is doing. So again, you can blast it with a berserker if you've got the wind for it. If not, you're going to lay up as I did on the fairway on the left hand side and then attack the pin for the albatross from distance with the sniper. General elevation 10% here in crosswind. If you're enjoying the free content here on the channel and want to support the channel and help keep it free for everybody, you can do so by making a small donation in one of three ways. You can click the thanks button underneath the video, you can use the PayPal link in the description down below, or you can become a channel member as well if you wish. Brilliant chance for a hole-in-one here. Going to start with a basic ball and then add backspin, so I'm not adding any unwanted or unseen side. 3 backspin, then switch to the ball we're going to use, probably Kingmaker, but of course in pro you can be playing with a Navigator as well. Yellow ring touching the rough, ball guide pointing to the pin. 2 ways you can do this. You could just one-on-one, which is mid plus 10 power 3, offset slightly to the left of the cup, but here instead of doing the offset I just went with 0.2 more based on my first attempt. So it's actually mid plus 10 power 4. Is what you need to be doing there. Of course, in tailwind angles, you're going to adjust down into the bunker, so I would set up a little bit closer to the edge of the rough just to compensate for adjusting down into the bunker. Very good chance for a hole-in-one, though, here. Just going to set up, obviously, in a little bit of a different place with this new pin location. Hole number 5, going to show you the top spin shot here with a big topper. Max top spin, 1 right spin. Of course, high-level Thor's Hammer could play this as well. If you don't want to go with big topper, you can go with extra mile and a berserker and bounce on the fairway. The other side of the bunker there with a little bit of backspin. Get yourself to green that way. There's a few ways you can play this. In headwind, of course, you're going to go out to the right, which you can just see off the camera there on the right-hand side of the game screen. That will leave you a short iron for your eagle there with a bit more downhill elevation. But going with this more aggressive route, very, very simple eagle. Just make sure, of course, with the big topper that you hit perfect. Max plus 10, just pushing up 1 ring based on finding my position when I was setting up. Most of the time you're going to get a pretty decent rollout with this top spin. You could, if you haven't pushed up enough, get a little bit unlucky and get stuck in the rough. But usually this one has worked very nicely for me. Going to leave yourself a very easy wedge for your eagle on this par 4. Here we're going to play a big topper shot to the middle island. It looks aggressive. It's not that scary though. As long as you don't hit a great left or a double great left, you're fine. Max top spin, 1 left spin, of course. You know, big top of 4 will work here as well. Expert players, you've got Thor's Hammer 7+. You could have a go with that as well. But setting up close to max, just a little bit away from the rough, giving myself a little bit of room, playing max plus 10. And the idea here is we're going to add some left curl and we'll bounce obviously on the fairway. The second bounce will be in the rough, but the top spin is going to kind of throw the ball out very nicely with a decent speed onto the middle of the fairway island here on this par 5. So you'll see here it bounces for the first time. Here's your second one, and we get a great roll out to the middle of the island. It's going to be around 345 to 350. Second shot, we can play true club distance. General elevation, I would go with 0 here. In the video, I went with power 2 ball settings because I thought I was going to over adjust it. I didn't need to do that because I under adjusted it. So I would just play power 3 ball settings here in this wind angle. You want to go with, you know, around 2 bars of top spin. I like the position here, as we have done previously with the old pin location, of having the top of the red ring touching the rough, because you're not going to risk any dodgy rolls. It's a nice consistent point to land, and if you put any load of overpower on it accidentally or you're just to a higher point, you're not going to fly the green. So true club distance, I estimated this to be in between min and mid, so I played it 25% on the slider. But like I said, I mistakenly, or rather thought I needed power 2 settings. I didn't. I should have gone with power 3. But you'll see the speed comes in very nicely here, and I think the rough bump following a successful drive is going to be a very good opportunity for an albatross on this par 5. Before we carry on, quick reminder to you, if you've not subscribed to the channel already, please hit that button right now. It's totally free to do so. Almost 50% of the people that view the channel are not subscribed, so please become a subscriber. Help me get to the wonderful 20,000 subscriber milestone. I would hugely appreciate it. Once again, starting with a basic ball here to not have any unwanted or unseen side. Then in this wind angle, pretty much level crosswind, I'm going with 2.8 backspin, switching to Kingmaker or Navigator, whichever you want to go with in terms of your wind reduction that's needed. And then we're setting up with the yellow ring touching the rough, bull guide offset to the right of the pin. Could have done with varying the offset a little bit here, or just tweaking the adjustment, because this one does a couple of circuits of the cup before finally deciding to drop. But as an example of the type of shot we need to play, it's one-on-one adjust here. The thing I would encourage you to do, though, is you'll see this, there is a little uphill slope to the pin here in this new location that we may not have experienced in such degree before. So make sure you do not go short in line on this par 3, but a very decent chance nonetheless. With this par 4, we're going to play with 4.5 topspin, and I'm going to do the rough and roll out shot. Otherwise, it's a bit touch and go whether you clear the rough, and if you do clear the rough, you don't have too much topspin on to then go into the rough up ahead. And also with tailwind, you then won't be able to adjust the short iron. So I like this one, max plus 10, deliberately leaving that second bounce in the sand, because the tailwind is going to propel the ball the rest of the way over the stream there. Perfect ball away with half a ball of curl. Any headwind here, though, I'm going to the right-hand side, going to approach the pin from distance with a sniper, but a nice rough and roll out here to the centre of the fairway, 346 yards. Second shot, finding the min line, finding max. I estimate this to be around mid-distance of my club. So for the purpose of this playthrough, I'm putting true club distance, 0 elevation for tailwind and headwind, probably 5 or 10 though in crosswind depending on the wind strength. Applying backspin, I like bouncing on the fringe here because it gives you a nice true bounce. Ball guide short of the pin, 4 bars of backspin here, because like I said, the tailwind is going to push us the rest of the way. So 0 elevation here, for me it was about 3.2 rings, pulling it over the bullseye. Again, you can use drive distance here, you can use pin checks, fringe checks, whatever. If you're playing the tournament, it will help you dial it in, but a very good chance for an eagle playing the left-hand side. Perfect ball away, bounces nicely, where we're aiming on the fringe, and we fall, just glancing off the pin for the eagle. Now the very tedious par 5, 4.5 topspin, 2 right spin. If you've got more topspin, you can go with that. You can play big topper here as well if you want. But extra mile and tighten working fine. Stretching out, just seeing where the first bounce is, but I don't want to push my drive too hard with tailwind that means I'm going to land directly in the rough. Max plus 10, I give myself 2 rings of push-up. That is more than enough in this wind angle and wind strength. Like I said, if you go with another ring, you're probably going to land the rough directly, and we don't want to do that. So max plus 10, no overpower, perfect ball away. Bouncing it down onto the first piece of fairway over the rough and the sand, and getting a decent bit of distance here. Like I said, if you've got more topspin, go with it. Drive distance in this case is 383 yards. Second shot, I would pack the sniper here unless you've got a really nasty wind angle. The good thing about the sniper, though, with crosswind and tailwind is you've got the ball guide for it. 4 topspin, and you might need a bit of side spin, but I want to aim towards the bunker. I'm not leaving my ball guide perilously close, though, because there is tailwind here and it's going to push us further on. So make sure if you've got tailwind angle that you're not going to roll into the sand, because then you will be fighting for your birdie. And we want to have an eagle chance, and there's not really a guarantee of an eagle on this very, very long and, shall we say, admit tedious par 5 at the best of times. So just make sure of it, max plus 0, bouncing nicely. Like I said, don't want to push it any further than that. That is going to be fine. We're going to be in range with our thorn. True club distance minus 15 would be my kind of general elevation here. We're going to play a rough bump. If you don't fancy it, then just play a containing backspin shot on the green and putt for the birdie. But you can see here, when I add my top spin and right spin, just moving around, there are a couple of areas to avoid. If you bounce too low, there you see that long ball guide, you're going to get a flyer. So make sure you have the top of the inner green ring touching the rough line here. If you bounce too low, like I said, you're going to catch a glitch here. And you don't want to be doing that, because then you'll be backwards and forwards trying to fight for a birdie. We're just missing the adjustment here. Want to either offset the ball guide or just tweak the pull angle or the adjustment. But it gives you an idea of the type of shot that you might want to play if you want to attack the eagle. The other option is you do the backdoor max backspin shot, but again, it's not easy to find a consistent point here. It's very easy just to lay up and get yourself a putt, but to actually attack the pin for the eagle, not the easiest thing in the game of Golf Clash. Bounces the rough very safely though, just a tweak there needed on this par 5. Thank you very much for watching this video on the Big Game 9-hole cup here on the channel. Hope you've enjoyed it and found it useful. Please join us over on Facebook as well. Over 12,000 members there. Free guides, shot sharing, discussion points, and a chance to interact with me and loads of other helpful members of the community as well. Free to join. I'll see you over there. Good luck everybody. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye for now.